Question 6. I'm answering the question, what have I learned about technologies in the process of constructing my product? Throughout the project, my confidence on Microsoft Publisher and Adobe Photoshop have improved dramatically. For the front cover, I use Photoshop, and for the contents and double-page spreads, I've used Microsoft Publisher. I've learned a lot about Photoshop, as comparing my music magazine results to the school magazine results, my work has progressed a lot. I've learned a lot about the use of technology, which was involved in the design and planning of my front cover, contents, and double-page spread. My confidence in Photoshop has improved, as I am working my way around the software much quicker and using my time much more efficiently. When I started the course 7 or 8 months ago, it was my first time using Photoshop. I now know stuff like editing the images and erasing parts I don't want on the image, or moving text around as its own layers and so on. Have improved fast as I was picking up how to use the software. However, throughout the course I am still learning what the software can do. Compared to the school magazines and to my final music magazine design, you can tell that my work has improved due to Photoshop and my skills in the software. I have also learnt how to use the airbrush tool, which I used on the images to erase parts of the image I didn't want. I used it to get rid of the white dents that are on the background of my images used. I feel more confident using that tool now. I have also learnt how to use the layer tool on Photoshop. This enabled me to make layers and create different layers on my work to make it look more professional. For example, all the cover stories are on different levels to the background image, and this enabled me to move words closer together and line it up much neater. Also, the competition cover story along the middle of the bottom of the front cover is all different layers for each text. This made it easier for me to move some words closer together, and vice versa. When I began the coursework of creating my front cover using Photoshop, I had never used the software before, so therefore I didn't know what to do. I found it difficult to get to grips with Photoshop. However, I think I have picked it up fairly quickly, after a few goes, and as you can tell, my work has progressed. I've also learned how to use WordPress much more efficiently. I began the project not knowing how to use it, and I was just uploading posts. After a few weeks, I realized I should add widgets such as category posts, Flickr, and tags. I have now categorized all my posts into simple and easy navigation categories. I also began to upload much more frequently, and my progress with the design process and what improvements I have made, as well as alternatives to my work and why I did them. I have also included polls and images to my WordPress blog, which I wouldn't have been able to do at the beginning of the course. I have shown a print screen of some of my widgets on the right of my blog. Through the project, I have also learned to take my photograph skills. I have used fashion much more efficiently and expressed this into my photographs. I feel more confident when setting up a photo shoot with using people instead of using objects. Throughout the project, I have also learned about Microsoft Publisher. Publisher I found much easier to use because I have used it for previous projects in the past few years in other subjects, so I did know the basics of the software. Due to the fact I have had experience in the software, I knew how to use it much quicker, and I got to know my way around the software much quicker. I also used Publisher to create my contents page and double page spread. Publisher made my double page spread look more professional and relate to music magazines out in the market today. I found both Publisher and Photoshop very useful throughout the design process of my project. They made me feel more comfortable when using them and made me interpret my ideas into my work. I found that using the technologies helped my work grow stronger in quality, as well as when I made my school magazine, I kept the use of Publisher and Photoshop very simple and to a minimum, and I didn't experiment with what Photoshop can do and what depth it can go into. When I started the second school magazine cover, I began to feel more confident and experimented with different ways and what I can do with the text and how I can layer and what effects I can get out of layering. Making the school magazine helped me create a lot more self-confidence using Photoshop, as the school magazine project was an introduction and taught me the basics on Photoshop. I also find myself using Google a lot more often. I was constantly going back and forth to looking at past magazines and what they look like and how I can represent ideas into my own design. I researched 11 different magazines related products, and I analysed them all in great depth. I looked into the genres and why they did what they did to their design and to what effect it did achieve. All of these different technologies and the use of the software have made me express and represent my ideas into my work. The use of the technologies ensured my work maintained its high quality that I wanted. And all of the different technologies that I have mentioned above have all helped me a great deal with ensuring my work maintained its high quality throughout my research and design process of my music magazine.